Well, hello friends, welcome to my backyard. Beautiful day here today. I forgot to check the date. I think it's June 11th. Yes, Sunday, June 11th. And nice, warm, actually a little bit warmer than I'd like it to be, but just beautiful day. And I thought, well, why sit in the basement this morning when I can sit out here and enjoy some coffee and a pipe and say hello to you. Now do I have a lighter? The reason I'm reluctant to do this sometimes is that I've got to bring everything out, and you forget your lighter, you've got to start all over pretty much. So, Crown Achievement pipe, Carter Hall. So I've got several thank yous, lots and lots of thank yous actually, that I need to send out this morning. First, we've reached a milestone in that we have passed 1,000 subs, and boy, I find that hard to believe, but I greatly appreciate it. And I just want to thank each and every one of you that have subscribed to me over the past year or so. All of you that have subscribed. It's just amazing that the numbers reached above 1,000. And I will certainly be doing a giveaway related to that milestone. I'm putting something together. I think I know what I want to do. It's going to take me a little bit of time just to gather up the stuff and that sort of thing, but you'll see it coming up soon, and let's say within the next month you'll definitely see that. And yeah, just a way to say thank you, and to let you know that I do appreciate you taking the time to sit there and listen to me babble. This I can't forget because I just leave it in the yard. That's probably not good for it, and you can see it's got quite a bit of rust on it and all, but it still bends. And it's been covered in snow. It gets rained on. Their check tools are sturdy little buggers. The other thank you that I want to make is related to last week's video. I got so many responses, both comments as well as private messages, emails, just very supportive, kind, people offering prayer, or just wishing me well, and I appreciate every single one of them. So thank you all for that. If you looked in the comments last week, you'll see that the procedure got postponed. So got there, everything was ready except the doctor wasn't ready. So it's going to be this coming Wednesday, I believe it's the 14th. But I got to tell you, and I really sincerely want to convey this point. Within a couple of hours of posting that video and starting to get these responses of people saying that they were praying, it really was like just a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I wasn't worried anymore, very, very quickly. And I had been very worried for weeks leading up to that day. So there was something that happened there, and I just think it proves how powerful prayer can be. So thank you all for that. I appreciate it. Please keep me in mind this Wednesday. But I feel much better about it. I'm sure it's going to be just fine. And again, thank you all for your kind words of support. I greatly appreciate them. So I've got a couple new pipes to share with you. And these are both very interesting and very special to me in completely different ways. So the first one I'll show you is actually one that came to me through a rather unusual method, rather unusual means. So my wife's family, my wife's from Pittsburgh, and her family is all in Pittsburgh. They have they had a family friend named Tom, and Tom was one of these guys, and I'm sure that many of you have this, where he was not a relative but a very close family friend, and therefore he was referred to as an uncle. So he's sort of like an adopted relative. Very, very kindly man. I only met him a few times, but just a good, solid guy that I really enjoyed meeting and talking to. Very kind, very easygoing, quiet, but good, solid guy. Well, several years back, probably 8 or 9 years ago, Tom's wife passed away, and Tom pretty quickly started to go downhill. He developed Alzheimer's, eventually had to be put into a home because he was living on his own, and he just couldn't care for himself. You know, the friends were doing what they could, but it just became a full-time job, and Tom eventually, about I guess it was about a year ago, he passed away. And you know, when these things happen and there's not close relatives around, it creates a bit of a mess, because you got a house full of stuff that has to be dealt with, and there were relatives that were living in other parts of the country and all, and they just said clear out the house, and I don't know the details of this, but at any rate, somewhere along the line, someone discovered this. And this is a Willard. It is a very, very lightly smoked Willard. The stem is not clocked properly, but it's in almost new condition. Interestingly, you're not going to be able to see this, but it still has some tobacco in the bowl. But it looks like it's only been smoked maybe under 10 times, and it's very lightly smoked. Very clean pipe. So really all I have to do is a mild cleanup of this, and it'll be ready to smoke again. Now, this was found amongst Tom's belongings. The funny thing is, no one remembers Tom ever smoking a pipe. So he clearly did. That may have been something he picked up later in life and just kept to himself. It may have been something that he did 30 years ago, and I'll have to research the pipe and see if I can date it. I mean, it's somewhat difficult to date Willards if I recall, but I'll see what I can do about that. Of course, he could have picked it up secondhand as well. But it's interesting. And it's funny, when I think of him, I didn't think of him as a smoker, let alone a pipe smoker, and it just makes me feel good to think of him sitting on his back porch when nobody's around, lighting up a pipe and enjoying it privately. So I'm going to clean that one up, and it'll get a good place in my collection, and I will think fondly and honor Tom when I light it up. So the other pipe, I was contacted by my friend Durham Duke here on YouTube, and he knows me well enough to know that I'm a sucker for grain, and it doesn't have to be straight grain or bird's eye. I just like grain. Flame grain is just fine with me, and he also knows that I kind of gravitate towards billiards and pots and straights more so than bent pipes. And he had a pipe that he was looking to sell. He sent me a couple of pictures of it just out of the blue, saying, don't know if you'll be interested or not, and I immediately responded, yes please. because this was just an absolutely gorgeous pipe. And this is a Winslow Crown 300. See the, hopefully you can see the crown there on the stem. This is just gorgeous. I hope that grain is coming out in this light. Very lightly smoked. Just a very beautiful pipe. And this is one that I basically reacted to at an emotional level and would have purchased just based on the looks alone. But I have been wanting a Winslow for a while now. I've been wanting to get some Danish pipes in my collection. And for those that don't know, Paul Winslow is a Danish carver. He's been around for quite some time. He studied with Preben Holm, and who was one of the very early Danish carvers. Probably worked with Iverson at some point. Preben Holm would have. And Winslow has really developed his own character, his own style, and the pipes are just beautiful. And they're renowned for their engineering, so the smoking quality is really quite good. I have not smoked that yet. I was hoping to maybe smoke it today, to be honest, but I don't like to make my first smoke of a pipe on video, because you got to get to know it before you can talk and smoke it at the same time, and I just haven't had the time. But a big thank you to the Dorm Duke for thinking of me with that pipe. Boy, he knows me well, because that just rung all the right bells. So we definitely have a new series starting this Wednesday, and I think you're going to be very interested in this. I think I mentioned before, this falls into the extreme makeover category, but it's a fascinating pipe with an interesting history. So please tune in for that this coming Wednesday. The video is already there. I just have to release it, so there'll be no issues, because Wednesday is also the day I'm going back to the doctors. Beyond that, I've got a lot of business travel. Well, I've got some small business travel, just day car trips this week, and next week I've got an overnight thing. So it's going to be busy times here, more so than usual. But we'll get it all worked out. So I'm trying really hard to get the second installment of the series that's going to start on Wednesday in the can, so that I can get that up the following Wednesday. So fingers crossed for that, but I think I'll be able to do it. And yeah, that's about it shop-wise. Things have been moving along nicely, and I'm finding sometime I've got to do some reorganization. I think I told you a long time ago I got to build a bench for the lathe. Right now it's actually living on my workbench, which is not ideal because it takes up half the workbench. So I've got to build a bench for that and some other things, and I'm just hoping to get the time to do that over the summer. Vegetable gardens coming along nicely. We already have some peppers, lots of flowers on the bean plants, and a few flowers on the tomatoes, so things are coming along well. Now that it's stopped raining continuously, I have to actually start watering, which is good. It's nice to have a little routine in the evening when I come out and water. And the plants seem to be responding, so all is good. Anyway, I don't want to keep you any longer. I don't have much else to say other than, once again, a big thank you to all of you who sent kind thoughts and prayers this past week. I really do appreciate it. And a big thank you to all of my subscribers, especially those recent ones who pushed me over that milestone of 1,000. Greatly appreciate that. Look forward to something special for you all coming up in the near future. So with that, I will say it's been great catching up with you, and until next time, I'll look forward to talking to you all again very soon. Goodbye now.